dress. Where does she buy her clothes? The 5 and dime? She's about as exciting as home-churned butter. Come on, Betty Lou. You wouldn't want Crazy Belle's bad taste to rub off on you. Crazy Belle. That's what she called me, like it was a big joke. But I was home now, and here amongst the odd shadows and the peeling wallpaper, I belonged. Why had we ever moved? One day this place will be mine, and I will make it grand for you, Daddy. I will. Aunt Dot bought a house in Loosedale that had all the modern conveniences, which she was very proud of. Loxley, dear, we can have whatever kind of furnishings we like. We are not poor, not at all. How about this sweetheart bedroom set for your room? It has a lovely tufted couch for you and your friends to sit on and read your magazines. You need a radio, too. At first it seemed a wise thing to have a new home with all the modern conveniences. But after a few years, the longing to return home to Summerleigh had not dissipated. I wasn't afraid of the ghosts. I loved them all. Well, most of them. I didn't love the ghost boy with the dead eyes, or the girl who wore a blood-soaked dress and moaned in the attic from time to time. Despite these occasional unwanted visitors, I yearned for home. I missed the fireplace that smoked, the damp-smelling rooms, and the creaking floor treads on the stairs. And I missed the orchard of peach trees behind Summerleigh, and the wild tangle of rose vines in the overgrown front yard that always hid a new litter of kittens. I had a terrific time hiding those poor mewling animals from Mama. Those had been happy days before Jeopardy disappeared, before Daddy died so suddenly, before Mama lost her mind. I eased open the screen door. It made a shrill, squeaking sound as I went inside. Birds were nesting on the back porch. They added to the squeaking to voice their complaints before fleeing from my presence. Mind the floor, Loxley. I had to be careful right here. The floor had weakened a bit. I stepped over the door jamb and into the kitchen. The door closed with a thud behind me as I walked into my favorite room in the house. I could almost imagine Harper at the stove and Mama on the phone talking to Augustine Hogue about one person or the other. I pictured Jeopardy sulking in the doorway, her wild hair unbrushed, her expression, as always, both sad and angry. And Addison, where would she be? She would be blowing her nose in the other room. We weren't allowed to blow our noses in front of Mama, or in the presence of any company we might have. Not even Miss Augustine, who had been a fixture at our house for so long, had ever witnessed any of the Belle girls blowing their noses in public. Of course, these austere rules were relaxed somewhat when Daddy came home, until he left on one of his many adventures. Miss Augustine agreed with Mama on everything to a T. Yes, Loxley, blowing your nose in public is a very vulgar thing to do. And whistling, too. Ladies don't do either of those things. I whistled as I peeked out the screen door to make sure no one had followed me. I couldn't think why, but I had the feeling that someone was watching me. And not a dead someone, a living someone. I scanned the tree line as best I could, but I didn't see anyone from my vantage point at the back door. Huh, there's nothing to see, silly girl. Now take your walk and go home before you're found out. I sighed as I walked into the parlor. The leaky roof had finally fallen in, just as Mama prophesied all those years ago. An entire corner of the parlor was covered in a landslide of rotting wood, shingles, and chipped paint. My heart sank at the sight of time's destructive powers. Poor Daddy never had a chance to bring this place back to life, and the restoration of Summerleigh had been his dream. I could easily imagine Mama's disapproving voice in my ear. "One day that roof will be the death of us all, J.B. This old house is going to crumble around..."